And it is Thursday afternoon. I just pulled in my driveway and the electrician was here waiting on me. I don't know if I mentioned in the video before that I had no air. I thought it was the air. It actually is. It was an electrical problem, so I have to have my whole panel in the back of my home replaced. And the home warranty only covering so much of it, so I have to come out of pocket. So I had to. Me and my son spent the day together. I had an appointment with my estheticianist, getting some treatments done on my skin. Unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with beautiful radiant skin. I have to have treatments. So I had an appointment this morning at 11, and then my son had a doctor's appointment. I always try to schedule his appointments at the same time because we have to drive so far. It's like a 30-minute drive. So like I said, I stay in a rural area. So I try to schedule, more than one thing at a time when I go to that particular area. So I had to stop by the bank and get the electrician some money. Had to come out of my pocket, you guys, for this, and he gave me a discount if I paid cash. He said, I can save you some money if you pay in cash. You don't have to pay taxes. So I said, well, let me just stop by the ATM and get these people their money, because the home warranty don't cover upgrades, and my panel need an upgrade in order to run the type of electrical appliances and things that I currently have. I stay in a home that is older, and at the time it was built, we didn't have all of these gadgets that we have now, so I have to upgrade, and they will not pay for the upgrade, which is fine. As part of a home ownership and adulthood. I'm just happy that I have it available. Just stop by the ATM, take it out the bank, pay them, move on, right? Electricity back on. It was never off. It was off in certain areas of the house. Like my stove wasn't working, but my microwave was. My washer was working, but my dryer wasn't. It was just certain things that wasn't working. And my AC unit happened to be one of the ones that was not working. So I think we've been without air for I want to say 5 days. So I had to go buy 5-6 fans to put in the window. Such an inconvenience. But he is at the house now in the back working on it. And like I said, I just pulled up and I decided to just do a quick video to talk to everyone. And I wanted to talk about taking risk. Sometimes you have to take a risk and get out of your comfort zone in order to see a change. Had I not taken that risk and spent that $89 to buy the Arise class, I would still be working 2 jobs. Working 16-hour days. The least amount of hours a day would be 12 hours if I was lucky, but most of my days were 16 hours. Like I said before, for 3 years straight, I was scheduled to work every day. If I had a day off, I would have to take a vacation day. Like if I was just super tired, I would use a vacation day in my morning job just to come home and rest so I can get ready for my night job. I did not take any vacations, like family vacations, within those 3 years. I just worked. At the time, my kids were in the 6th, 7th grade, and they had band and they had all these different activities, and I just didn't want to deprive my children of the things that they wanted because my income wasn't where I wanted it to be. So I always tried to make sure I had money available. Just even the perks of having cable and internet and everyone had their own computers and video games and that type of thing cost. So, I was in a position where I was working 2 jobs just to maintain what they call a middle class lifestyle. And I ran across Arise, and I just was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. I don't know how I found my IBO. I believe they give you a list of IBOs, and I just chose one, and I liked the name, and I went with it, and I was with him for 3 years, 2-3 years, and opened my own cell phone store. Like I said, it was open for a few years. I really didn't like the fact that I was still away from home and I was spending more hours trying to just build a brick and mortar. I decided to bring my business home base, and I haven't looked back. I remember leaving my day job. I left my night job first, and it took me an additional 2 years to leave the day job. So the night job, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I bid everyone a farewell. I didn't look back. 2 years after putting in my 2 week notice for my night job, and you can hear the rain. I'm outside and it's just raining, and it's beautiful. It sounds good and peaceful. So 2 years after I put in my 2 week notice for my night job, I put in my 2 week notice for my day job, and I officially was retired in my 30s. And I worked on the base. I stay in like a military town. I'm in the middle of the National Guard and the Air Force. We're like a little small community in a valley nestled between the two. And I worked on the National Guard base, but it wasn't considered a federal job. It was considered a state job, but on federal grounds, on base. So I worked there for 4 years. Prior to going to the base, I was at the state capitol. I was an investigator, a fraud investigator. Like I said, corporate America. I didn't really like it. It was all political. And I left the capitol after being there for like 5 years and went over to the National Guard base. And it still politics, still political. And I'm not really into the political type of movement. I tolerated it because the pay was decent and the benefits. If you work for the government or the state, you know that the benefits, if nothing else, I'm not up this window. If nothing else, they're a reason to stick around is for the benefits alone. So I stayed for the benefits, and when I've seen a scapegoat, when I meticulously planned my timing and when I was going to leave. I put in enough work at home. I had set myself up for success, and I put in my 2 weeks notice. I cashed in my vacation time. I still have my retirement, because anytime you work 5 years with the company, you're vested. So I will get my retirement. I still put up for retirement now. I'm not, when we're talking about working from home and leaving your job, a lot of people don't really get detailed like I do. I think you still need to put in your 401, your Roth 401 IRA, and you still need to put that. You need to max it out every year, so you can earn that income later. I still have another 40 years. I would have been still working another 20 to 30 years had I not left the actual workplace. So I have to put back for that. My home, like I said, will be paid for. So if nothing else, my home will be paid for, and I can sustain. So it's a way to do it. I think that when you make the conscious decision that you want to work from home, and you've already made your mind up that eventually I will be at my home working, home office, building a business, there are ways to do it. I think you should get a coach or a mentor that could help you map out how to fire your boss. I think, it needs to be done in a calculated way where you won't look back. I've already made up in this brain of mine that I will never work for anyone else again. I will always work for someone. Don't get me wrong. Anybody that I serve, anybody that I help, anybody that I assist in earning money from home, I'm still working, but I'm working for the people. So, I do not ever plan on clocking in at a job. Again, I just don't like the politics of workplace. People, well, she came in late and you work. I used to get rolled up, and I used to be running late, and I'm rushing my children. I don't have time to spend with them. It was just my last year at the workplace, I knew it was time. You guys, I used to carry around books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, The Millionaire Next Door. I used to have this big thick notebook, and I will write out my business plan for my business. My cell phone company, I literally hand wrote my business plan, and I would type it in and upload it on software. Like, I knew that working for someone was not for me. I wasn't going to retire at a job. I knew that. I made up in my mind. And I started, already having a business entrepreneur mindset. I started planning. I started, counting the cost. The Bible said, count up the cost. Whenever you do something, you need to know exactly what it's going to cost you. Not monetary all the time. What is it going to cost your family? What is it going to cost you in time? What is it going to cost you in energy? So I counted up the cost. And now I'm going to sit back later and reap the rewards of all the hard work. So I'm sharing this with you that you might, I don't know what stage you're in with your entrepreneurship. I don't know your stage and what level you're on, but all good things come to those who are patient and willing to work for them. So I'm just here to encourage you. It's okay to take a risk. You're not living if you don't take a risk. If you just don't like what's going on with your life, change it. Be it in a relationship, be it physical. If you know that, hey, you need to drop those extra 20 pounds, make up in your mind that that is what you're going to do. 120 pounds is a lot of weight. It took a lot of discipline, you guys, to get that type of weight off. But I feel so much better. It shows a sign of discipline. And I knew then if I could get the weight off, I could become a millionaire. The weight loss actually encouraged me to stay focused on my business. I had become complacent. I had become cool with the amount of income I was making. As long as I can, pay my mortgage, live, But it's more. I long now for more. I yearn for more. It's something else I supposed to be doing. And I know one of them is of service. I have to serve. I have to give, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give and be of service, and everything else will fall into place. And that's what's going to happen with you. So don't be scared to take risks. You're not even living if you're not taking a risk. Don't settle for whatever life has to give you or offer you. You have to live your life intentionally. Get up every day with an intent. And I guarantee you will see some results. Subscribe to my newsletter. Let's connect. Stay in touch. Until next time, you guys, stay fearless. God bless.